Cristo.
Welcome to INCRadio, Hawaii Pacific. Featuring the brothers and sisters of the Ecclesiastical District of Hawaii Pacific. Mahalo for tuning in. See you soon.
Good morning, good evening, and a very good afternoon. That's like where we're actually here in the evening. Because time check, it is 10:13 p.m. I know you guys were waiting patiently for us, but we're here now, ready to talk about our wonderful topic today. Guess what? It's only me today. So we're gonna have two guests instead, and they're so excited to share their story, share their career, share what they want to do in the future. And we're so excited. And we know you're excited as well to listen here on INC Radio. Just in case you forgot my name, I'm Brother Joshua Gala. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. Welcome again to another episode of INC Radio Hawaii Pacific. We missed you from last week. Isn't that right, CCK? Yeah, isn't that right, CCK? We missed you from last week. You guys are regular watchers of INC Radio. I know that we always see your comment, and it's always hashtag WPH, not your local, but White Power instead. So thank you guys for that, right?
And bye-bye.
Yeah. Never lie. That's a good one. That's why you're inspiring. But you know, as we always do, we're gonna jump straight into our topic discussion, but not before we introduce our guests. Again, it's just me today, so we're gonna have double the fun because it is two guests here on INC Radio. To my left, you've heard their names already, but we're gonna have them introduce themselves. Sister in the green, tell us. I should have worn white. That would have been good. I have a white inside shirt. It's green, white, red. That would have been perfect. I didn't know that this was the plan job. But sister in the green, could you please tell us your name, your local congregation, your credit card, social security, and a fun fact about yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Caitlin J. Sebastian. I'm from the locale community here in Hawaii Pacific. And what else?
A fun fact.
A fun fact, I guess it's pretty rare to come across a left person. I'm part of the left-handed crew, so that's one of my fun facts.
And let's continue on with this fun fact. When you write, do you have the smudges on your head?
Well, it depends what kind of pen you're using.
Really?
So I've been leaning towards Japanese stationery.
Japanese
Yeah, like
stationery.
Fuji and all that. So whenever I write, thankfully there's no smudge.
Wow, that's just for pen. How about pencil?
Pencils, well, I mean, I haven't really used the pencil in a long time.
Really?
Yeah. Usually for school, when I was in school, I used mainly Apple. I did paperless, so I just
Wow. In like college.
in college.
Or
Yes.
I was like, I don't even know if it came out in high school. I don't hear that.
No, I mean, in high school, yes, I did experience.
Mhm.
But, I mean, you just wash hands and you're good.
See? That's what I'm saying. That's why we always say at the end of the show, wash your hands. That's only for the left-handed people. You know, my brother is actually left-handed.
Really?
My whole family is right-handed except him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Are there any fun facts about left-handed? Like that have you read scientific?
Well, I've always heard from other people that left-handed people are usually creative.
Oh,
I'm not, I would say I'm not creative in, the fine arts, but making music, artistry. I would say in other ways, as I am a aspiring teacher, maybe writing is my secret.
yeah. No, we see that. Yeah. I know with my other aspiring teachers, we definitely see your creativeness. Isn't that right, Sister Jeline? Yeah, she's very creative, right? She is. We were talking about with one of our audience. But now, enough about Sister Kate. I know we're gonna keep talking about you in a little bit. We're now gonna talk about the other special guest. Again, it's so fun. And we have our sister who was in on the plan job except me. But sister, what is your name, your local congregation, and a fun fact about yourself?
My name is Sister Shlina Pascual, or Ina for short. I'm from the local congregation of Honolulu. Fun fact about me: despite living on an island for my entire life, I can't swim. So if there's ever a tsunami,
So in Honolulu, are you like in the part where you're up in the mountainside? Or are you near the water?
I'm like close to the water because I live in Kalihi.
Oh, I see.
Would you consider yourself a beach person?
Oh,
Yes, me personally,
more of a beach person than a mountain person? Or one for like between those two?
in between those two. But since I'm closer to the beach, I go more toward the beach
Mm,
rather than going on hikes.
interesting. So sand therapy, not salt water. Do you dip your toes in the sand? Okay.
Do you,
How-
so do you swim, but like not into like deep
I
water?
just
Or
stand.
you just
Oh, you
stand?
just stand?
That's
Do you know?
safe.
No, it is. It absolutely is. Would you rather learn how, if you were gonna learn how to swim? Would you rather learn in a pool or a beach?
I'd rather learn in a pool because you never know when there's a tsunami that's gonna come.
Absolutely.
And there's no live animals in there too.
Yeah, that's true. I love pools because I always grew up, living my pole. I'm not near to any beaches. I'd have to go here, or I can't go down because it's for harbor.
Yeah.
I would always go to my grandmother's pool. We go there. She lived in an apartment complex, so we would always go to a pool. And I always remember the shape of the pool. It's like a ball on a stand. Yeah, so it was really nice, and I would always be there. But it's another beach actually. It's over here. It's near here, really close here. But that's where I learned how to swim. No, that's not where I learned how to swim. Joking. Don't lie, sister. Hey. Thank you. Well, sister, yeah. But I learned in Vegas. I actually learned in Vegas. Yeah, yeah. It's a hotel, and their hotel had a huge pool. My dad just tossed me in. So like, okay, swim to me. And I was like,
Okay.
but safely. I was in shallow water, thankfully. It was like 6 feet. Shallow water. But that's how it is. So would you, in the future now, would you learn how to swim?
Yeah.
Yes. It's just like a goal. It's just like if it happens, it happens.
Happens, it happens. Doesn't, then it doesn't.
It doesn't. But be wary about tsunamis. Yeah. I don't think the main priority about tsunamis is swimming. I think you. It's better to go up. And so she's gonna learn how to swim. The tsunami's gonna come. She's gonna go right. She's gonna go right into the water. I know how to swim. The tsunami. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. That's really cool. Well, now we know our sister Kate. Thank you again for hopping on the show. Now we're going to dive right into our topic here in our rundown, or rather our topic discussion for today. We're talking about accomplishing the goals that we want to accomplish the goals that we want to reach, rather. And this is special because we actually have one who. How long ago have you graduated?
Probably just in December.
Just in December. So a recent graduate and an even more recent graduate from this year. When did you graduate? That was
I graduated last month.
last month. That was like a couple weeks ago. So it's very fresh. And yours is still fresh. It hasn't even been a year yet. So we're gonna delve into this topic, talking about the goals that we want to accomplish, and get right into it. So, Brother John, I usually ask Sister Jillian to ask the questions, but here we are by myself. Sister Jillian, hop on the show right now. She doesn't want to. But which one of you guys want to go first? We'll start from left to right. We'll start from right. So the first question that we have for our topic discussion. Well, let us know, what was your major and how did you accomplish your goals this year?
So when I graduated with a bachelor's in applied sciences of medicine, but I do intend to go into the medical field. It's a specific concentration, but I don't really go into that. It's just kind of niche. But essentially, yeah, it was a great time to accomplish my goals. I guess one thing that I have really instilled in my day-to-day life is having a job. Because having children is essential to my life, and as for any other Christian person, integrating your career is really life really does make a difference. Because despite writing that way, and always a nice of your life. Having that trust and faith in Almighty God really does it. So whether it be, I can give you an example. Like, this is my second time taking a class at a hospital, and this is a more rigorous class. And I think right now they call it leader classes. Leader classes. So essentially, these are classes that are intent to make people drop their majors. Yeah. So it's my second time taking this leader class, and essentially, I was, on the brink of like losing hope, considering different types of jobs that I can accomplish without having to take that class, right? So I remember for each exam during that semester, I would just, go into the bathroom, just have a fun. Essentially, like, I didn't care how long it took, whether I was late to that exam or not. I just had my notes to just at least settle my needs before going. Therefore, like, clearing my mind and then doing this. So I feel like, doing hard work is one thing, but trusting in Almighty God above everything else, despite any of the obstacles that may push you against the things that you do, really does.
And let's actually continue with that. We're going to talk about your major and your career and about that leader class as well. But let's talk about that moment where it truly felt like all that you could do was trusting God. That there, like, out of all of the options that you couldn't do, the only thing that you could do was trusting God. Was there ever a situation like that?
Yes, I was just like, like that example that I had given. It was my first exam, and going to the exam just after knowing that I failed the test, I was already like having that negative. Like, I'm not gonna pass. Like, because the first time I took it, I didn't really trust my gut, nor did I like kind of focus. I was so confused, or like that. And from then on, like going into that second semester, retaking it at least with a different instructor, and preparing for that exam, I kind of had to switch my mindset. You know what? If it's not God's will, then it's not. The money that I spent on this class is needed somewhere. If it's God's will, then it's it. So I really had to trust my God, trust in my teacher. And I passed. I was like second in my class.
Whoa!
Yeah, I was
Is that leader class?
in that leader class.
Whoa!
Yeah, so I was just very thankful, and I hope that kind of serves as an inspiration to other students who are either going through the same thing or about to come to that place.
That is a great story. We're starting off strong on question number one. Is that right, Cecina? She's already crying. It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna ask that same question to you, Cecina, but we're gonna ride that wave. Talking about how we accomplish our goals, and I wanted to ask you that specifically. You graduated from high school. So I'm sure, obviously, these are two different schooling types, I guess you can say. Have you felt that as well in either your test, your exams, what we can do, right? Have you ever felt just like how Sister Kate felt, or the only thing that you could do was trust God?
So with me graduating high school, I also had dual enrollment where I also took college classes while in high school.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then I also worked in my senior year. So yes,
Wait. We're gonna stop you right there. And what did you get in high school?
I got valedictorian.
She got what?
I got valedictorian.
She got valedictorian. You hear that? She's like, yeah, I know. Let me break it down for you guys again. Remember this. She had dual enrollment, which means she was high school. She was also in college. She was working in her senior year, and she got a valedictorian.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Pat yourself on the back.
Yeah. Wow.
You can say you did it.
Yeah. You say you did it.
Yes.
She's humble. Wow. What? I'm so surprised. And how do you feel?
I feel very fulfilled and very relieved by the fact that I wouldn't say it's necessarily over because I'm about to embark on a new chapter in my life after high school. And I know, and I heard that's probably gonna get worse from there. But
Gonna get hard.
yeah, but knowing that God is with me and how I can trust in Him, even though that things may seem hard or everything may seem against me as of right now, I just know that having Him by my side will furthermore motivate me, as well as friends and family that will also help me along the process.
Yeah. Having that support system, it really does go a long way, especially if you're going to be going into such a, bigger university. It's hard. It's easy to get lost in that. So knowing who you are and really finding those who support you truly, then that can go a long way.
Absolutely. And, to build off of that, those people are your foundation. They're the people that are the people sent by God. They're the instruments to keep you motivated, to support you. Those are the people that are going to continue to cheer you on, to keep you rooted, especially me. Let's talk about that now. We've talked about our trust in our Almighty God, how important it is to have our prayers, especially when it comes to our devotional prayers for either whatever it is that we want in our life, or especially for exams, as you mentioned, or for your school in general. Let's talk about the people who have supported us along our ways. How do you feel like they played a role in accomplishing your goals? We'll continue with you, Cecilia.
The people that have supported me, of course, would be my parents, my grandparents. They raised me to, I guess, in a sense, value the importance of getting an education, because not everyone has the privilege of going to school. And living here in the US, being born and raised here as well, allowed me to embrace that privilege and motivated me to do well in school, not only for myself, but also for my family as well, because I know that they want the best for me at the end.
I completely, because that's how my parents raised me as well. And I think it's important to really take advantage of the opportunities that you are given, right? Because our Almighty God placed that there for you. It's up to you whether or not to do it, right? But you just have to realize that. And then going off of that, for me at least, having that real support system, for me, it really included my family, my parents especially. And I guess without my parents, they wouldn't really, through their, sacrifices, their hardships that they had faced, really did motivate me to go push me further in life to achieve more than I had ever expected. And I'm so grateful and very fortunate for the opportunities that they had afforded me, even though it wasn't directly given to me, but just going to school, having that education, that's enough. And then from there, you're able to really work off of what you're given. Deal with the cards that you were. Yeah. And ultimately that, and going into college, knowing that you are going into college. And like what I mentioned before, having that support system, whether it be your family or friends, it does play a big role. And during my schooling, thankfully I was able to find, a good group of friends that I'm still friends with till this day. And, we always go eat out and all of that, but these people really, I struggled with them. So I guess you could say we're kind of like trauma bonded because we met in that class. And then from then, we really built this relationship, and we continue to strive and inspire one another to do better.
Yeah, I feel like that's really important. That when you go to school, you find those group of people that are going to be those, as you said, those that you come upon. Were those people also in your leader class?
Yes.
Oh, they were.
They
Oh, so
were.
they knew the struggles.
Yes.
Wow.
We took it twice together.
Oh, you
yeah.
every single one of you guys?
Yeah.
How big was your group?
Like it was me and two other people, and then we also had the help of one of our other friends that had passed the first time, but she was like helping us out, giving us resources. So yeah, so we basically adopted her.
You adopted her. I like that saying. That's really cool. And was there ever a moment where all of you guys were all just like, yeah?
Oh, guarantee all the time. Like, yeah, we don't know what's going on, but I guess yeah, there's times where like I don't know what to do, I don't want to do anything, but you know, in times where you're really struggling, you gotta do something. And if that takes initiative, going up, showing up to class, asking the questions that need to be asked. And that's where, you know, that demonstrates that you're eager to learn. And, you know, that shows to the instructor, like, hey, you know, I'm going to help this kid out. I'm going to try to help them to pass as they can.
So for you, the way that you were able to cope with that stress, where you felt like you can't do anything, was to show up. Was to be like, hey, this is what I need to
Yeah,
do.
put myself through more stress.
Was to get through the stress, you need to put yourself through more stress so that the stress you're currently feeling is less stressful.
Yeah, exactly. And that way you learn how to cope with it. You, I guess, in ways, you bring awareness to this, you know, the stresses in life, and like showing up, although like adding more stress to your plate, you kind of that's how I like work well under pressure. So that's how I kind of gain my work. No, it's not procrastination, although it might be. At the same time, if you work well, then you work well. You know, each their own. Everyone has
Absolutely.
their own.
Please continue, discussing about that. I see that our camera blacked out. We'll be keeping talking, so you can look at the big screen for now. But we're going to continue. Sister Ina, we want to hear from you as well. We know you've gone through that type of stress as well, where you felt like, or even with your support group, I say, that you guys didn't know what you had to do. How did you cope with it? How did you end up getting through that stressful time in your life?
Me personally, as what was mentioned earlier, I also work well under pressure, which also factors into my procrastination. Like straight up.
At least you accepted it. Like, yeah, I'm a procrastinator.
Yes. And despite all my procrastination, I still got good grades. So
Good. That's good.
oh what?
She got good grades.
You got good grades. I mean, if you're a valedictorian, I'm pretty sure you have to get good grades for
Yes.
that, right? And that's great. Thank you, Kuyatek, for being such a great help today. And what would you say is the most important thing that we'll we'll go off of the let me rephrase it. Instead, we know it's very important that prayers are the first thing that we should do in order to get through a stressful time. Besides, and we're not saying that it's not important, but besides that, what do you feel like was the most important thing that you needed to do?
I guess the most important thing I needed to do to actually like get through problems in life is to just should I say this? I use my goals as a way to motivate myself even when times get hard because I envision how should I reword this? I envision what I want for myself and use that as motivation for me to push through all the stress and obstacles that may come my way. Because the stress is only short term, and focusing on the long term is what pushes me, in a sense.
Yes.
That's a good point.
It
Yeah,
is.
really considering that. I'm glad that you pointed out the fact that, you know, the stress that you're enduring right now is only temporary. And it's crazy to see that there's still a lot of people in this world who still have that mindset. Like, I can't get over this. I can't get it. Right. So having that hope in your future is a really good thing to despite all means, because ultimately it is your future and you have control over it. Yeah. And
Yeah, that's very good. I'm glad that you're adding on this commentary. Sister Kate should be a host. Isn't that right, Sister Julie? Sister Ina should be a host too, right? Sister Julie, just take a break. Sue will now run the show. Thank you guys for your time. No, I'm joking. I'm glad that you brought that up. That you didn't see the stress as a burden to weigh you down to stop, but instead you saw your future as your why. This is the reason why I need to come. Either whether it be to find a success in the future or be to support your family as well. Not only yourself, but we also want to help our family. There are immediate family, of course, but even the family that we have, maybe in the Philippines or other countries as well. That's an obligation that we feel. So if that is a reason for you to succeed, then that's even more power to keep going. For you, Sister Kate, do you feel the same as
I completely agree with you. You know, putting into perspective that your future is in your own hands. That's one way I kind of deal with my stress as well. Is not only taking time for self-care, but putting yourself in an environment that inspires you. So when I was in undergrad, and during COVID too, I volunteered at a homeless shelter.
Whoa.
And it was a clinic connected to homeless shelter, to be exact. So putting myself, because I do want to go into healthcare, putting myself into a healthcare environment really did inspire me to go push further. Like this is really what I wanted to, you know. And from there, like putting yourself in that situation where you're in that environment you want to be in, you get to learn what you like and what you don't like. And from my experience working at the homeless clinic is, I'm very grateful for that opportunity because I learned so much, not only about healthcare in general, but also about myself. I learned that I love to help disadvantaged communities, especially the homeless population here on Island. And it kind of set me off to a point where now I currently work at a homeless detox center. So essentially we serve unsheltered individuals who I guess need to go through either continue through treatment or continue on. And it's very niche. And I really do love what I do. It's because I took that initiative. I found my why through that experience in that homeless shelter. And I seriously do love what I do. That I kind of use my experience now at that center to further inspire me to go into the school. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you actually brought up the career or job that you are currently doing, which is bringing you closer to what you wanted to do, or is this? Do you feel like this is it?
No, it's not it.
Okay.
There's more to what I would like to do. I would like to enter professional students. So that's like this is kind of the cherry on top of what I wanted to, hopefully it kind of adds to my resume and makes me stand out as a good candidate.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And we're glad to hear that this is your plan for the future, because that was actually a question that we wanted to ask. We actually jump in between questions, believe it or not. But we're glad to hear that this is the plan that you have, that you're just getting started. You're not taking this as your final stopping place, but this is just a stepping stone for you to go on. And we're excited to have you on future on the radio to even talk about your career in yourself, because as you said, it is niche. We want to hear more about it. Thank you, Sister Kate. There, look at that, Sister Kate next week, and then Sister, right now. Thank you for being on the show. She talked about, or we all talked about our motivation. Okay, the reason why we continue to go through the stresses that we go. And she brought up another word, which actually ties into the question. You can see right there, it's on question number 3. We talked about our motivation. Now let's talk about your inspiration, because you can see those two as different things. Do you feel a separate inspiration for why you continue?
I mean, with motivation, it's like motivation and inspiration, they both kind of factor into why you do something.
Yeah.
But with inspiration, it inspires you to do something.
That's the word.
Explain it. Inspiration. It allows you to realize why the thing that you're doing it allows you to realize why the thing that you're doing is good for you and how it'll benefit you in the future. Whereas motivation is the thing that pushes you to do something.
Just like a sweet treat, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, I deserve a sweet treat after a long day.
Yeah. Inspiration is, I guess, in a sense, far more impactful than motivation.
Yeah.
And
That's
that's great.
Yeah.
We love to hear the distinction between those two words. Sometimes, people think of it as the same thing.
Yeah.
But you can see that, just as you said, there's a clear distinction between those two. And you say that inspiration is more impactful than motivation. So let's ask you now, what is your inspiration?
My inspiration. I guess I start out with saying who inspires me, like my parents, my grandparents. Of course, I would want to make them happy, especially with my mother. Like she's been there with me. Like there's one time in elementary school, actually many times in elementary school, when you were doing math homework, and then you know how like at one point your parents start getting impatient with you, like especially when it comes to math. There's this one time my mom got annoyed with me because I couldn't figure out what 6 plus 11, 6 plus 5 was.
What is 6 plus 5?
11.
21.
Forgot what we were talking about.
Your
Your
mom, your inspiration.
Yeah.
Yes. And then seeing how she's made countless sacrifices.
Yeah.
That's what makes me want to do better for not only for myself but for her as well. Whereas motivation is the reason, not reason. It pushes me to do something.
Yeah.
So right now you're or not right now, but throughout your life, your inspiration was your parents, and maybe specifically your mom. Seeing the hard work that she put in to not only help you in your everyday life, but even in this school. Yeah. Well, guess what, guys? We are right at the end of our show, and we didn't even get through all of our questions.
Oh.
It was no, it was really quick, right? So what I always tell everyone when we have our show beforehand, we're like, it's gonna look so slow at first, and then you're gonna look at the clock again, and it's right there. Because earlier I looked at 10:20, and we're like, okay, we're about to hit the second question, so we're gonna have to extend a little bit, and then all of a sudden we have to end the show right now. So before that we end, and we apologize for taking it more of the time, but we're glad that you're here anyway. We want to hear a message of positivity from you both, and any shout outs if you'd like to give. So we'll start with Sister Kate first. We're gonna speed run this.
Speed run this.
Ready, and
So I guess one message of motivation or was a lesson learned, right? No,
lesson learned or message of positivity.
message of positivity. Okay. Everything from what I had experienced, I learned that failure is okay, brothers and sisters. Failure is okay. And you just gotta step up and don't let any score nor anyone define you, because you at the core of it know who you are and your limitations. So never let failure define you in any sort of way.
I like that. You have any shout outs that you want to give?
I'd like to shout out my mother, who is currently watching here, us this morning, or this afternoon. This evening, sorry.
This morning.
This evening. Hi, Mom. I'll see you at home soon. And thank you for everything. And I love you very much. And I'd like to shout out a very special person in my life, Brother Daniel. Brother Daniel, if you're watching, thank you for everything.
Huh?
Oh, no.
Oh. Thank you, Sister Kate, for joining us on INCRadio. Sister Ina, you now have the stage. Any message of positivity you'd like to give and shout outs?
In terms of positivity, I feel that everything happens for a reason. And even though things may not seem falling into place as of right now, as long as you trust in God and whatever He has set in store for you, it'll all turn out fine in the end. And then it's also important to be humble as well.
Correct. Yes.
Because let's face it, there's always someone out there that's better than us. And it's better to be humble rather than have people think that you're arrogant or anything of that sort. And shout out, hi mother.
Our mom's watching.
Hi mom. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for dealing with me, your only child. I'm not the top valedictorian, but it's still something.
It's still a valid.
Valedictorian inside mom's heart.
Yeah,
That's all that matters.
absolutely. You're number one in your mind.
Who's that? Yeah.
I don't know who that is, but you know. But thank you, Sister Ina, Kate, and since they both shouted out their moms, hi mom. We'll see you soon later on, and to my special someone. No, I'm joking. I love you. But you know, the reason why we wanted to have people on like this is because our upcoming activity, which is going to be recognized at, and you are going to recognize her. We're gonna round of applause for you, all of the other graduates. I guess we're gonna, but the upcoming activity that we wanted you all to know is that we have a special gathering of all students and the recognition graduates as well. It's going to be here in the compound of Upper Beach, and it is going to be June 30th, which is Sunday at 6 p.m. Again, that's Sunday, June 30th, 6 p.m. at the Upper Beach compound, and we hope to see you all there. Now, as we close out our show, we know we are way over time, but we want to give a special thanks to these special people who allow us to have shows like these to spread our message, to spread inspiration, and even give motivation to the brethren and even listeners around the world. Now, special thanks to our Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, to our CFO Coordinator and CEBSI President, Brother Angelo Arano Manalo. We also want to give a special thanks to our District Supervising Minister, Brother Jem H. Waitan, our Assistant District Minister, Brother Ador Postal, our CFO Overseer, Brother Brandon Pacheco, and all the ministers, ministerial workers, and their families here in the District of Hawaii Pacific for continuing to support us here on INCRadio. We love you so much. Thank you for tuning in to INCRadio in Hawaii Pacific, and we shall see you next week. Keep waving. Keep waving. Oh, brush your teeth. Wash your hands.
Yeah.
Wash your hands.